Krishna. Long, long ago, we met and there was Vivek Chudamani classes. And in that class, we concluded examining the Annamaya Kosha and logically came to the conclusion that that cannot be the pure, holy of holy Paramatma himself. Then we analyzed and inquired and studied exhaustively, very closely, the Pranamaya Kosha. Cannot be. They are all changing, variable. They are not permanent, eternal, immutable. They are all made up of matter and therefore inert and insentient. They are not conscious. No, they cannot be. Then we took up a very powerful aspect of our personality called the mind, analyzed its contribution to our life. And what does it do? How does he accomplish this cheating us so comfortably? How is he is making a fool of us? Analyzed everything and thought that maybe that is the Atman, the self. It cannot be. Parinamashīlatvad. It is parinam, constantly changing. It is never the permanent, yes, it's finite. It has got a beginning and an end. Every day it is ending in deep sleep, and then early morning again born. Paramatma is permanently there in all the three periods of time, in all the three states of, states of our consciousness. In the waking, dream and deep sleep state, he must be there. Then only he is eternal, immutable, changeless, permanent. Mind cannot be. It is not the mind, Swamiji. I never meant that. What I meant was intellectual. Buddhi, that is Brahman. Without buddhi, what can you achieve? Nothing can be achieved. All things are achieved. Therefore, that must be. Is that next stage? Vijnanamaya Kosha, maybe that is Brahman. So that, again, as before, we take slices of the buddhi, if we have got it, and then look at it as in a microscope and analyze its structure, composition, how they work, and what is the functioning, and what do they do, and how do they do it, and from where do they get the power to do it. Thus we are analyzing.
Buddhir buddhindriyai sardham savrittih kartrulakshanaha vijnanamaya kosha syat pumsa samsara karanam.
Buddhi, the intellect, the grey matter and the white matter that contains in your empty shell, skull, buddhi. Buddhindriyai sardham, along with the intellectual, sense organs. Intellectual sense organs means the sense organs that bring to you the understanding of the world outside, the knowledge of the world outside, and that is the sense organs of perception. So sense organs of perception is connected to both Manomaya and Vijnanamaya. So don't get confused. Swamiji, it's a Manomaya. Maybe Shankara must have made a mistake. No. It's not only that you perceive the world outside, but the poor mind cannot come to any judgment. It has no discriminative power, and therefore the mind puts it up to the officer concerned, the intellect, and it is the intellect, the boss, that comes to the judgment and decide what is to be done. And even there the intellect cannot judge it by himself. He has no privilege or right to judge it as he likes. He is always with the reference to the previous experiences recorded in the memory of the intellect. So the intellect comes to the judgment with a reference to the precedents, just as in law. The judges cannot come to a judgment as he likes, but the lawyers on both sides will explain to them that a similar case in Allahabad High Court, it was judged like this. The other fellow immediately will say that a similar case in Calcutta, judge opened differently. Then the poor judge has to sit down and read both the cases, and they find that they are not the same case, but two different cases and two different judgments is perfectly all right. But his present judgment must be in line with the law that is existing in the country and the precedents, the other judges and other courts and high courts, how they have judged similar cases. In the same way, the sense organs bring the sense stimuli, the mind collects them all and makes it into a file, but he cannot come to any judgment. He refers it to the boss, the intellect. The intellect is the one that comes to a decision whether it is good or bad, should I do it or not, should I go there or not. It's the intellect. How does he do it? With reference to the past experiences. Therefore, the intellect and mind both are intimately connected with the organs of perception. Sardham, savrittis kartrilakshana. It's vritti, waves. Waves means thoughts, ripples. It's pictorially thought in sense of ripples coming out. It's all thoughts. Vritti. Vritti means ripples. So in a plain, beautiful, quiet surface of the lake, if you throw a little stone in the middle, you made a disturbance there, but that disturbance doesn't quietly stop there, but it goes on to concentric circles, widening itself until they come and disappear by striking against the edge of the lake or the tank. In the same way, when you perceive a beautiful thing, a disturbance, but that disturbance doesn't quietly stop, and from there you go on thinking, how nice it is, what a pity that I have not got it, such a beautiful thing. Infinite, it goes on. This is how our thoughts are endlessly running about. If that disturbance has come and then you say that, it's a beautiful thing. Vairagya. All disturbances ended. Well, you know, you go, how nice it is. You yourself encourage it until at last the vrittis come and destroy you completely. You have no peace of mind thereafter until that desire is fulfilled. So then the intellectual sheath, along with its thoughts, is savritti kartrilakshana. And all his thoughts, what is it? Oriented with the idea, I am the doer. I saw, I heard, I smelled, I touched, I felt, and I felt, and I spoke, and I lifted, and I ran, and I went. Everything, I. Without I, there is no thoughts. Boo. And the deep sleep, no thoughts because there is no I. Kartrilakshana. It is always oriented with kartra, I, the doer. the sense of agency in all activities is the intellect's job. Vijnanamaya kosha syat. This is called the Vijnanamaya kosha, the intellectual sheath. Pumsa samsara karanam. This is the cause for all your samsara, all your coming and going. Samsarati iti samsara. Coming and going. Coming and going, not only your birth and death, but every moment. Today no joy, and the joy goes and the sorrow comes, and the sorrow goes and joy comes, it goes on. You quarrel with somebody and then you make up with them. And again friendly, and again quarrel. It goes on. Samsara karanam, the cause for all this samsara, is the disturbance of the mind, and therefore the world around me appear to be constantly changing. Not the world is changing, but your equipment of perception is changing. The intellect is changing, and therefore we experience that the world is constantly changing. Anuvraja.
Anuvraja chit pratibimba shaktihi. Pratibimba shaktihi. Vijnana samya prakriter vikaraha. Jnana kriyavanahamithyajasram. Dehendriyadishvabhimanyate bhrusham.
Anuvraja, constantly accompanied by, constantly, wherever it is, wherever there is intellect, it is constantly accompanied by pratibimba shakti, the light of consciousness gets reflected in the intellect, wherever the intellect. Whether it is thinking of good things or bad things, whether it is tamasic or rajasic or sattvic, the sattva is element in it is a reflective surface. Therefore, when there is too much of tamas, there will be less awareness. But the intellect is always reflecting, always shining in the light of the all-pervading consciousness. Constantly it is there. Therefore, light of consciousness caught up in the web of thought becomes the intelligence or the intellect. When you are not aware of things, there is no intellect. Now, if I ask you a question and you say, Nahyasta vidya, if I ask someone, why light of consciousness is not illumining that intellect? That vritti is you are not aware of. See? So then, anuvraja, chitta, chit, consciousness, anuvrata, constantly accompanying pratibimba shakti, chit pratibimba, the light of consciousness caught up in the web of thoughts is the intellectual, bright, brilliant, awareful intellect. Vijnana sabnya, it is called Vijnana, sabnya, name. That sheath is called as Vijnana, intellectual sheath. Prakriti vikara. That also is only a modification of matter. It is not the spirit. It is also matter. It also belongs to the world of change, Einsteinian world of constant change. Prakriti is vikara. It is a modification of Prakriti matter. Jnana kriya, if it is matter, then it must be inert. Yes. In fact, intellect is inert. But the intellect seems to be very bright and brilliant today because of the light of consciousness shining on it. The waves of the ocean has no light of its own, but in the daytime we see the waves. It is the sunlight illumining it. Similarly, the thoughts seem to be very intelligent and dynamic. It's only because of the light of consciousness playing upon it. It's actually in itself, it is matter. Calcium, carbon, phosphorus. It has no strength of its own. It's only when the light of consciousness is functioning in it. It draws its nurture and nourishment and vitality and dynamism from the consciousness and shines itself out as fully aware of things. Jnana kriyavan. And what is his function? Jnana kriya. To know is his function. I know what I see, I know what I hear, I know what I know, I know what I think, I know what I feel, I know what I think, I know. Intellect. And the intellect is not working. Why? The drink in you has increased the tamas, that it is no more reflecting. And therefore one drunken friend was late in the night, was coming into his house and taking his key, and he was trying to open the house. So another friend was passing there by. John, never mind, give me the key, I will open it. No. I will open my house. But I want to help you. All right. You please hold the house properly. Because the house is moving, that is why I am not able to. This is your samsara. You think that the world is moving. No, world is not moving. World is not there. Your mind projected, and then your mind is in agitation. Therefore the world seems to be in agitation. How? Tune up yourself. So don't say that, I will open the lock, you hold the house properly. The house is not. The drunken fool thinks so. All of you. Drunk with tamas and rajas. Mixed drinks are dangerous. Both. Aye. So many people seem to have experience of it. Tamas and rajas together, then you are drunk. And you think that the world is ever changing. No! This is a changeless, immutable, eternal self only. But you are seeing a world that is constantly changing. Jnana kriyavan ahamitya ajasram. Ajasram, non-stop, akhanda. A million times. And every action, every experience. The intellect tells you, it's I did it, I did it. I am the man. I am unhappy. I am happy. I succeeded. I failed. Think. This aham iti ajasram dehendriyadeshu abhimanyate prisham. It is the intellect that abhimana, that vanity, or maintains the idea that I am the sense organs, the body, the sense organs, the prana, the mind. Who is doing that? It's an intellectual conviction that you have developed. Brisham. Brisham, in vain. Because it's a wrong conception. It's because of the non-apprehension of reality. It is a misapprehension. Brisham. Then you start suffering because these are me. But they are not you. Shut up, I know. I know what? That I am this. Like you may come here, listen to me and then go, but what do you do? The moment you move, I'm the body. मेरे चप्पल का तुम क्यों लिया? ऐसा मर गया और मेरा है तेरा मेरा. It goes on. The intellect has assumed it. It's not now. Millions and trillions of lives, all through your evolution. This idea of I am the body is necessary in the earlier stages of your evolution, because for preserving yourself, nature has not finished you, and therefore it has to be preserved, and therefore it is necessary. But when once Viveka Vairagya has come, you have become an intelligent man. You must be able to stand apart. Watch. Am I doing what am I doing? Then you discover that is not necessary. Deha dehendriyadishva abhimanyase bhrisham. Bhrisham in vain. In vain meaning it brings you only sorrow by this misconception that I am the body, I am the sense organs, I am the mind. You get your sorrows. It is not there. That is not you. But then who does it? Who does the trick? The intellectual sheet does the trick.
Anadikaloyamaham svabhavaha jiva samasta vyavahara vodha karoti karmanyapi purva vasanaha punyanya punyani cha tatphalani
Bhunte
Bhunte vichitra swapiyonishu vrajan ayati niryatyadha urdhvameshah
ayadi niryadyadha
asyaiva vijnanamayasya jagrat swapnadyavastha sukha dukkha bhogah
anadikale. When did this intellect start? When did the intellect start? Anadikale. Adi, beginning. Anadi, without a beginning. Without a beginning, and that onwards intellect, yes. When you say beginning, you are always meaning in time. When did we begin this talk? At 7:05. Why? Swami was late by 5 minutes. Started 7:05. Now when was this intellect started? Perceiving a world of plurality. When did the world was created? When was God created the world? Anadi. Beginningless. If you don't know the answer, why are you now bluffing like that? You say that we don't know. No, we know it. What? It is anadi, beginningless. Beginningless means beyond time. Because time itself is a created factor. What you are asking is, when was creation start? Anadi, beginningless. So when you say, no, Swamiji, I can't understand, that is because, Buddhu, you had never thought of what is time. What is time? Time is 8:30, 7:30. This is only a measure of time. What is time that you are measuring? With your chronometer, with your sun, its shadow, its position. These are all various ways of measuring time. What is time? When I ask what is milk, is a seer. A seer is a measure of the milk that you got from the cow. What is milk? Milk is not a measurement. It is something different, which you measure. Similarly, time you measure in terms of seconds and minutes and hours and days and weeks and months and years and centuries and it's all measurement. Measurement of what? Time. What is time? Swami, all that is difficult. Time. You don't know time? Time is a measurement between experiences, isn't it? The talk started. Terrible. When will it end? When will it end? Until at last, Appa, it has ended. Then you say that 1 hour that Swami croaked and I couldn't understand anything. You understand? 1 hour. How do you measure it? The interval between two experiences. I was waiting for you here for the last 1 hour. You came, and all the time I was expecting 1 hour. I slept for 2 hours. I started sleeping, ended sleeping. 2 different experiences. The interval between them is called time. Just as the interval between 2 points is called a distances, measurement of distance. Maybe 1 inch or maybe 1 mile, it doesn't matter. Distance between 2 points. Similarly, the interval between 2 happenings, experiences, is called time. So when did time start? So simple, sir. The time must have started on the first year. First year cannot be without 12 months. That way. Then the first month. First month cannot be without 4 weeks. I see, Swamiji. Then first week. That time started. When does time start? First week. First week cannot be without 7 days. All right, first day. Day cannot be without 24 hours. First hour. First hour cannot be without 60 minutes. Swamiji, this is a corundum. You are only trying to... All right, first minute. Minute cannot be without 60 seconds. All right, Swamiji. First second. Sharam nahi aate. First what? First second? Think of it. Because when the first experience came, time was 0. Another experience, other than the first came. That is the second experience. Came the first unit of time, called second and not first. Swamiji, when is the first? First 0. It is no time. So in the infinite consciousness, when the first vritti rose, and you, the infinite consciousness, became conscious of that vritti, you had the first experience. The moment you became conscious of the first vritti, the second vritti rose. By the time you see the second vritti, time has started. With the time, space has come. Time and space the universe came. The world, thoughts, you started as a game, became serious. Why? You can't control it. The flood of time started. So how can the poor teacher tell you when was the intellect started? First thought started. First thought started anadi, beginningless. Or else he will have to tell you, the first thought came 0 year, 0 month, 0 week, 0 hour, 0 minute, 0 second. Instead of he said 0. You don't understand because you are in North India. 0. No, you understand. See, instead of saying 0, 0, 0, 0, they said it is anadi, beginningless. Anadi kaloyam. Where is it? Punya karodi karma. Anadi kaloyam aham swabhavaha. And when once the thought arose, the ego started, I am the thinker. This thought is mine. Anadikaloyam aham svabhavo jiva. And that is called the jiva, the limited individuality. You have been wrapped up by thoughts. You have become a victim of time and space. Now you have to break up this flood of thoughts and thus go beyond the concept of time, space. And that is called the infinite, the eternal, the immutable. Aham svabhava jiva samasta vyavahara hoda. And this jiva is samasta vyavahara. All your activities are undertaken by this stupid ego. And the ego is thought flow in lighter consciousness. Lighter consciousness got up, the thought flow. Conscious bundle of thoughts is called you. A little chloroform. And if that chloroform is a little overdose, you don't come up. Then you plaster him with the kitchen, in the kitchen. Delhi mein just now hua. They gave it a little extra. They wanted to carry a boy away. And you gave the chloroform too much, the child died. That child didn't know what to do, and therefore they broke open the door, the wall, and plastered him in, and plastered the wall. Just now happened, 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago. Not in a village, in the capital of India, Delhi. So that here, a little chloroform, you have no concept of time, because the mind is not functioning. In deep sleep, you have no consciousness of time. So in meditation, consciously, when you stop thinking, you become conscious of the pure state of consciousness beyond. This bundle of thoughts shining in consciousness is called the you, the individuality. Samasta karma. All your activities are vyavahara, all your transactions in the world outside is this conscious bundle of thoughts. Karodi karmani. Abhi, this, and this is this ego who is prompted to do actions in the world outside. The individualized ego thinks and acts in the world outside. And no two persons persons act the same way. The circumstances and conditions in the world is the same around every one of you, the OET. And yet, each one of us respond to the world outside and act in the world in a different style. Why? As ordered by, as determined by, as compelled by your own personal vasanas. Karmani, purva vasana. Because of the purva vasana, the inclination of your thought, you have trained your intellect to think in a particular way. And it is in that way that you think and act in the world outside. Punyani, apunyani cha. Both the vasanas are positive and negative. Noble actions of the past, noble vasanas. Ignoble actions of the past, ignoble actions. And therefore, tadbhalani, the individualized consciousness caught up in the web of thought, the individual, compelled by its own past inclinations, acts in the world outside as good or bad, and thereby creates results, good or bad, and suffers, experiences. Swamiji, whatever I do, I'm always a failure. Last 5 years I have been trying. Vasanas are not positive, negative vasanas. Change your personality. How? By cultivating slowly try to cultivate. Thereby the entire personality has changed. When your personality is changed, your responses to the world outside changes. And from the negative way of looking at the world and acting in the world, you start working positively, and your entire future, the destiny is changed. And to change an individual's destiny is not an easy thing. But you can, by your purushartha, by your own effort. Effort doesn't mean that carrying load or heavy weight. That is not the effort, but quality of your thoughts to be changed. Anja, bhungte vijitra, according to the compulsions of the past, I continue doing. When I was drinking in the past, I continue drinking and suffer. If I have been very charitable and a noble person, a man of character, I continue that. So bhungte, I come to experience vijitra swabi yonishu vrajan, not only in this life, but even after this body has fallen down, the mind and intellect, compelled by the remaining vasanas, you search and seek for an appropriate physical body in an environment that conducive to you, where you can fulfill your rest of it. You can't escape. Thus it goes on from life to life to exhaust these existing vasanas as ordered by, compelled by your own inclinations. Just as in the evening the drunkard goes to the drinking booth, nobody is whipping him to the drinking booth. Even you and your good well-wishers go and stop him. Do you think that you can stop him? He will give you such a brilliant talk that the one who has gone there to stop him, he also goes along with him. हम तो दिखा देंगे तुमको what is heaven. हाँ, आजा मेरे साथ. You can't compel anyone to do anything. All these you explain. Do you think that any one of you will meditate regularly from hereafter? You will not. Why? Your own vasana. Tamas and rajas are in you, what to do? Swamiji, I wanted to really regularly meditate, but I could not get up. Why? Nobody disturbed. Everybody disturbed Swamiji, so I turned that side and said, what to do? While meditating again, your mind runs here and there wild until at last it is all stupid, it's all a failure. I mean, it's all a bluff. There is nobody can quieten the mind. And you, it's not your fault. The vasana in you is so powerful, rajoguna vasana, that your mind is wandering away. In various yonis, you move from yoni to yoni, being born as man or animal or human or plant. You go on in healthy life or unhealthy life, in happy circumstances, unhappy circumstances. Vrajan ayati. You move on, ayati nidyandyadha urdhamuchi. Now into higher lives, then again to the lower one, then again to the higher life, according to the type of vasanas. So every one of us living is exactly the life that you demanded. Don't sit back and say, Bhagavan has no eyes, he has always giving me all the sorrows. Bhagavan never gives anybody any sorrow. He has given you complete freedom. Do what you like, because you have got the discriminative intellect. And I, by my negative activities, I am demanding sorrow. And Bhagavan gives you every bit of it. Aid was not given by the Lord. Lord aided the whole country. That is a different thing. You created. You got it. No doubt you never wanted aid, but that's the consequence. Nobody wants to go to the prison. Mehta Sahib never wanted to go to the prison. But his action was such that he's ordering his future days in a prison. With a flat iron cot and one solitary bucket in one corner. Why did he come to that stage? 3,000 crores. Why? Consequence of action. Bring. Nobody can escape. So then, thereafter, according to your vasanas, you move from womb to womb, environment to environment, circumstances to circumstances, now happy, now unhappy, now a higher being or lower being. Urdhamuchai, urdhamesha, asyeva vijnanamayasya ja. And this vijnanamaya kosha, this very same vijnanamaya kosha, intelligent sheath in you, interprets in you Jagrat, Swapna, Adi, meaning all the Jagrat experiences, Swapna experience and deep sleep experience. All these are known by whom? The knowing principle is the intellect. Adyavastaha, Sukha Dukkha Bhogaha, and all your experiences of Sukha and Dukkha are all interpreted by the intellect. And it's in the intellect in you that experiences all the joys and sorrows. This is the intellectual sheath.
Dehadinishta shrama dharma karma Gunabhimanam satatam mameti Vijnana koshoyamati prakashaha Prakrishta sannidhyavashat paratmanaha
Ado bhavatyesha upadhirasya
Yadatmadhi samsarati bhramena
Dehadinishta. Deha, these are all identified with the body. Nishtha, firmly established in the idea that I am the body. Ashrama dharma. Really speaking, it belongs to the body. Whether you are in the grihastha or vanaprastha, sannyasa or brahmachari, these are the various ashramas, the stages in life. Identify with the body. And these dharmas, dharma, karma, according to the status, the various activities that you are doing. Guna, the good and the bad that we are compelled to do in it. Abhimanam, in all these identification. What? These are all belonging to the body. But the intellect assumes that it is me. I am a brahmachari, I am a grihastha, I am a vanaprastha. So the grihastha feels, brahmachari feels that he is already a grihastha. The grihastha feels that, thank you, I am sannyasi now. Each one is all your identification. Even you are in deep sleep, are you brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi? It's all again the buddhi that vijnana koshoyam atiprakasha. And of all the, all the koshas that you have got, sheaths that you have got, the gross body annamaya or pranamaya, manomaya, but of all of them, vijnanamaya kosha is atiprakasha. Brilliant. That is why we generally say that a brilliant intellect. Radhakrishnan, a brilliant man. Einstein, a brilliant man. What is a brilliant? So brilliant that their wives left them to another room. Why? She can't sleep in light. They are so brilliant that in the night there is no darkness and they can sleep only in darkness. And they can't sleep in light. That's why Lord Shiva, Parvati never sleeps in another room. Because that Chandrakala, Bhagavan, cover karo na. Shut up. Hey, in the light I can't sleep. That is the main complaint there in Kailas. The other day when I went there. Light. So the brilliancy is not that way. The brilliancy of an intellect is awareness. He is able to see things through, understand the words that others talk, go behind and find out the motive and intentions of others. Brilliant fellow. He can read between the lines. Why? He is full of awareness. His intellect is. So the intellect is the most brilliant in you. Your bone has no intelligence. Your flesh has no intelligence. Your blood has no intelligence. Your prana has no intelligence. Mana cannot judge for itself. But who is the one that is capable of intelligently thinking, discriminating and coming to the judgment? Is the intellect. Why is the intellect so bright? More bright than others. Though the Atman, the self, is everywhere, how is it that the intellect is so bright? Prakrishta sannidhya vashad. Paratmanaha, Paramatma's prakrishta sannidhya. It is next to Paramatma and therefore more light. Prakrishta sannidhya, the mere presence of the Lord. And the Vijnanamaya Kosha is the nearest. By the time it comes to the gross body, it is the far west. And the sense objects of the outer world, whom we call as inert and insentient, is because still far. Prakrishta sannidhyavashad paratmanaha ato bhavatyesha upadhirasya. Ataha, therefore, this becomes his upadhi. Paramatma's upadhi is this intellect. Edatmadhi samsarade brahmena. Therefore, he has got the atmadhi, he has got the feeling and understanding that I am this self. The BMI is myself, is me. And therefore, that Paramatman who is ever free appears to be suffering from the plurality of the world outside and the sufferings and sorrows. One day, Sri Narada was going after, he has got the free visa to go to heaven and come back. He has got the free visa, he has got the diplomatic visa. Any time you can go and come back. And he uses it as often as he can. Because he can't enjoy completely heaven, he must come to this earth and create conflicts and troubles and then go back. One day when Narada was going along, when he has reached the upper strata, away from the cries and sorrows and agitations and worries and wars and troubles of the world, beyond the upper strata. When he reached there, he thought, Abba, now the noisy confusion and the stink of human beings is all gone. Fresh air and beautiful silence. He was enjoying Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. He heard a peal of, a screaming cry of somebody extremely punished or persecuted. He said, hey, even this place, there is sorrow. He looked around, there is nobody, and then there is utter silence. He said, maybe I must have heard, some skara of hearing the scream of the world outside. Father died, husband died, bacha child, paisa gone. This cry from house to house, so it must be that. The moment he started, Narayan, Narayan, a terrible cry. He said, what? When he looked all around, there was nobody in the outer strata except Bhaskar. Bhaskar, the sun. So he looked at the sun, and it is the sun. He's screaming with a agonizing pain and sorrow. He said, what? Bhaskar's sorrow? So he went there and said, hello, Bhaskar, what is your trouble? Bhagavan, now I know my sorrows will end because you are blessings, but he cried again. Huh? Where is the pain? What is the trouble? What is the trouble? Can't you understand? What is the condition? Don't you understand that I am being broken? What? You are being broken? Tera dekho na, Bhagavan, dekho. So, Narada turned back. And in the Pacific Ocean, when the waves are breaking, and whenever he is broken, ah! He cries, and when it is calm, it's calm. Narada understood the disease. He is misunderstanding that he is the reflection. He said, now, Bhaskar, don't worry, I will cure it. It is a simple thing. By Narayana's grace, you will be all right. Will you do something? Anything you want. I am suffering. You steadily look into my eyes. Nowhere else. Look into my eyes. Narayan, 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 Narayan. Bhaskar, for the last 3 minutes you never cried. What is the matter? Buddhu, you are here. That is your reflection. The reflection is breaking, not because you are breaking, but those waves are. The reflecting surface is unsteady, and therefore the reflected face breaks in. You are unbreakable. You are something different from that. They are the waters of the ocean. You have nothing to do with it. You saw your reflection and forgot yourself and identified with it, and here you are suffering similarly. Vedanta says you are that Atman, the self. Your light is being reflected in the ocean, in the intellect. Intellect is constantly changing. Naturally, therefore, it is breaking out. But that reflection you have understood as Mr. So-and-so, who has got, excuse me, you are, 1 minute. What? Visiting card. What is a visiting card? I am this body, this mind, this intellect. I live in such and such a place, and I do like this, and I kick the, I cheat the society by this method. And you can reach me by this phone number or this number. You never say, I am the Brahman. What are you talking? Then every change in the intellect, you must cry. You must suffer. You are not able to understand. This is only pradibimba. It is only a reflection. The reflection of the consciousness in the intellect. But you are identified with it so much. As Bhaskar was identified with a reflection in the Pacific Ocean, and he lived through and really suffered when he saw that he is being broken. Until Narada shook him and made him realize that, oh, I am this, I am not that. I was thinking I am that, and that is why I suffered. Now, thank you. Didn't I tell you, when I met you, I knew that I will save myself by your blessings. It is not by anybody's blessings or grace, your right knowledge. Right knowledge ends wrong knowledge. Wrong knowledge gives you sorrow. Right knowledge gives you bliss, happiness, because it is your true nature. Pragishta sannidhyasa ado bhavatyesha upadhirasya yadatmadhihi. Therefore, as a result of it, you have got the atmadhi. Your buddhi has decided that this is me, which is not you really, which is not there, it is only a projection of the mind. But identified with it, samsarati brahmena, this individualized ego, due to the brahma, delusion of the intellect, identifying himself with the illusion that he is seeing it in the world, goes through sorrows after sorrows, life after life. It is all these sorrows are provided by the intellect.
Yoyam vijnanamaya praneshu hridi spuratyayam jyotihi ज्योतिः कूटस्थः सन्नात्मा कर्ता भोक्ता भवत्युपाधिस्थः.
This intellect or the light of consciousness, illumined or caught up in the web of intellectual thoughts, called this conscious individuality, identifying with the sense organs. Start feeling that I am the seer, hearer, smeller, taster, toucher. And then you say that, I want to see but I can't see. I want to go to Chudamani but I am not allowed to go to Chudamani because my mother-in-law is such a... Swami Vivekananda, my father-in-law is like that. The moment you have understood I am the Brahman, no more any sorrow, no more any desires, no more disappointment, dejections. But this Atman, the self, yes, the consciousness, illumining the intellect, and the intellect functioning through the prana, the activities of life, through the sense organs, comes to suffer endless sorrows. All these are provided by the intellectual field area.